And I want you to listen to me carefully. 2 years now, he can't tell us the truth about his citizenship. Him say him do have a UK citizenship. Him say him have a UK visa. We realize him can't have both. So something not right. And up to this day, weeks before our election, we do not know what his true status is and citizenship is. But it is worse than that. And I'm raising it tonight as an item that must be dealt with by civil society and not on the political platform. He got his first passport in 2011, Jamaican passport, at 43 years of age. It means he was living in Jamaica for 43 years without a Jamaican passport. And the only reason why he got the passport is because he was going into government and he needed a Jamaican passport in order to get a diplomatic passport. And I ask you, any man who born in Jamaica or say born in Jamaica and wait until he is 43 years of age to get a Jamaican passport, which allegiance him have? Jamaica or UK? I want you to remember that, and I am calling on civil society. Any man that wants to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica must come clean and let Jamaicans judge him based on his credentials. If don't want to rule the monarchy, when you look at his integrity, commission filing, if not even own a hut, not in a thatch hut, but them a fight against the Prime Minister, big house up at Beverly Hills. Burn them out! But get US citizenship through my mother. And when the court tell me, say, me have to renounce, it never take me 24 hours to renounce because I know where my allegiance, and that's why I'm the member of parliament for 18 years in West Portland. Because I don't want to take up the Prime Minister time, you know. But you see this, you know? This is my turf. And me run this. And I want to make sure, say, they have the Prime Minister back. From here, go right through to the territory. So follow me closely. Come in and put me mouth on ground tonight and talk with me. Golding is such a hypocrite and so bad mind that he might call out the Labour Party government, say we raise parliamentary salaries show ourselves while poor people are suffering. Let me make it clear that
Prime Minister.
Andrew Holness as Prime Minister supposed to get $28.7 million, moving from $9 million. And him say as Prime Minister, we can't accept that because I have to live with my people and should lead by example. And he said to his parliamentary colleagues, I know that you need it. I need it too. But guess what? On principle, as Prime Minister, I have to lead by example. And he refused it, and he continues to get $9 million a year since the increase 2 years ago. The bad mind, evil, wicked, PNP, all 14 of them, 13 of them, 14 of them, sorry. Take the increase. And Mark Golding, salary gone from $8 million to $25.7 million. But you know the difference? My leader is a proven leader. Mark Golding is a proven businessman. Understand what I'm saying? He might earn money, millions of dollars, through his private investment company, proven. But that is not enough for him. He wants more and more and more money. Because all that concerns him is the almighty dollar and not the people of Jamaica. One bad mind! And we can't talk because them try everything on me. There's nothing they have not tried. They call me everything under the sun. They accuse me of everything under the sun. They do all kind of things to me. But you see this man here? Him stand up for me. In my most trying times when they wanted to get me out of government on susu and propaganda. And this man stood up for me. And therefore, my commitment to him is to stand up for him and deliver the third term at all costs. I'm going to leave you with two things. There are several other ministers that are going to do several things to help us win the election. But I have two things that my cabinet has supported me on. You see the school bus? I'm going to give them bus after bus after bus after bus. It will tell this bus. It will say, why listening? I'm getting several texts, phone calls, everything you can think about. And people are concerned because of how the PNP have bad mind the bus them. They want the bus them crash, they want the bus them, everything you can think about they want. And people are concerned. And say, Mr. Vance, do everything to make sure that them bus them safe come September morning.
Dedicate them to the Lord.
This party is a God-fearing party. party, a God-loving party, and we believe in the Almighty. So I want to assure all of you tonight and all of Jamaica that before that 110 bus touch the road, September morning, when I'm call out all kind of judgment on it, I am going to get Prime Minister, want to hear me? You are going to be there. I am going to get every Christian denomination, pastor, preacher, from all over Jamaica. Jamaica, not only Portland, everybody who is listening, stick with Andronis, stick with Darrell Bars, stick with the Jamaica Labour Party cabinet, MPs, and God will bless us to bring Jamaica from poverty to prosperity. God bless you. Before I bring on the Prime Minister, I want to apologize because we were supposed to have a long service award for East and West Portland. But unfortunately, the crowd and the turnout has been so big that it has made it impossible. But we will reconvene a special occasion in East and West Portland to recognize all of you in person in the coming days or weeks before election, because without you, there is no me. Without you, there is no Anna Bars. Without you, there's no Andrew Honis. Without you, there's no Jamaica Labour Party. So I thank you for your understanding. And as I have always said before, we follow one order in Portland. Serve the people, and they will serve you. Love the people, they will love you. Defend the people, they will defend you. Respect the people, they will respect you. And most of all, work for the people, and they will work for you. Prime Minister, before you say your few words, I'm going to ask you for your special awards. We have the Worker of the Year, Paulette Pickersgill, 35 years, currently a scrutineer and supervisor for the Hope Division, working in PD40. We ask you to just hand out that. You have everything ready? Bring them up one at a time, very quickly. I don't want to take the Prime Minister's time. Canvasser of the Year, Janet Palmer, working for over 20 years. Currently a scrutineer for the Buckney Division, working as an indoor agent in PD54. Janet Chambers, working for over 50 years, starting as a poor girl in the Buckney Division. She's currently a supervisor, Rugby Hall and Blackley area. Longest serving worker in West Portland, Florence Prince, who lives in the Buckney Division in the community of Martin, and is a member of the Jamaica Labour Party from the age of 18 and is now actively a runner in PD63. For East Portland, she could go.
Black them.
Worker, and I've been doing without further ado, I want to introduce to you the best leader and prime minister in the history of Jamaica. The man who is going to bring prosperity to every single citizen of Jamaica, regardless of what party, what religion, what color, what race. As you can hear, my voice is a little bit raspy. A lady here to tell me that she likes how the voice sound. It's like so sexy. I have been moving around the country, having meetings and talking to people, and so I have been exercising my vocal cords maybe a little bit too much. So I have to be easy with it. But I have a few things to say to you tonight, and I'm very, very appreciative of your attention. First, let me thank you all for coming. This is a massive crowd. In other words, the Labour Party River in Portland, come down, back to back. I want to commend Anne-Marie and Darren for their stellar service to this parish. And by virtue of the crowd that has gathered here, it is clear that they have the support of the people of Portland. It is by now very clear that very soon
Call it.
there will be an election.
Call it, Andrew. Call it. Call it. Alright, alright. Call it, Andrew. Call it. Call it, Andrew. Call it.
As leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, that is now the government of this country, that has done so much work. We are the first government that can campaign on achievements. My job, therefore, is to make our calling and election sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not playing any games with the election. The first thing that we had to do was to win the battle for your minds. Some of you may not remember, a year and a half ago, there was an avalanche of PNP lies and accusations. Half-truths, misinformation, falsehood, rampant
on social media and with proxies in the media, trying to sway the minds of the people. We recognize that this was a deliberate strategy of the PNP. And we as a party, we doubled our efforts to communicate with you. But we did more than that. We made a commitment that in the battle for your minds, we would not lie to you. We would not give you false promises or false hope. That we wouldn't twist the truth. In the battle for your mind, we respect you enough that we will tell you exactly what the situation is. And in the battle for your minds, we told you what we plan to do to make your life better. And we know we can rely on you when we tell you the plans that we have, because you can look at the work that we have already done, and therefore you can have faith in the substance and the evidence of the things that we have done. So tonight, when I tell you that we are going to build in this parish in the next 3 years 1,395 housing solutions, you can believe that and trust in that, because you are seeing the work of the Jamaican Labour Party. Already, we are well down the wicket with 600 of those units in Woodstock. How many of you know that place, Woodstock? Yes, 600 units will be in there. And in Paisley, we have started the planning for 795 housing units. These will be affordable housing solutions that the people who are gathered here, the people who have the ambition to own their own home, you can aspire to this. I also want to say to you that you can have confidence that the Bolingbroke Urban Center will be completed, because we have started it and you have seen the Moran Day Urban Center that we have built and how that is transforming. But we have more plans for your parish. There have been many attempts to put in and develop a proper cruising pier in Port Antonio. Well, we are not just looking to develop a cruising pier. What we have done with the Port Authority and the UBC and the Factories Corporation is to hire an international urban planner and architect to develop a plan for the entire waterfront harbor in Port Antonio. We are going to turn Port Antonio into the new tourism capital, not just of Jamaica, but into the tourist capital of the Caribbean. Some say that Caribbean tourism started right here in Port Antonio. And therefore, it is only right that Port Antonio gets what is called a renaissance, a redevelopment of the town. And to make that happen, you would have known that a few weeks ago, again I was in your parish, where we broke ground for the Port Antonio bypass. Why are we doing the bypass? The first thing is, we need to open up more lands so that we can develop more housing for the people. So yes, the bypass will take some of the traffic out of the town and decongest the town and make the town easier to move in. But the real purpose of the bypass is to open up more lands for housing development. And let me tell you why we have to do it. I gather that the leader of the opposition came here and he went to somewhere close by here and he saw some people living almost in the river and a civil structure we call a diamond. And I don't know who tell him that it would be a good idea to go and take the sand out of the river and dump up the area for people to live in that unsafe space. But that speaks to the quality of plans that they have. They don't sit and think about how to improve the lives of people. Anything that comes to the head, that's what they give as a plan. What the Jamaican people can have confidence in with this government is that everything we do is properly thought out. Everything we do is efficiently executed. Everything we do has endurance and resilience. Everything we do will ultimately improve the lives of the people of Jamaica. So all of you who came here tonight, who came to support the cause, you know that your political party is the best option to move Jamaica forward and continue the journey of prosperity. Whether it is improvement in your public transportation, whether it is improvement in housing, whether it is improvement in your community safety and security, whether it is improvement in water and roads, whether it is improvement in energy costs that you face, whether it is improvement in your general infrastructure, this government is the best option for the people of Jamaica. So my friends, our campaign theme is Choose Jamaica. Choose what is best for you. Choose what is best for your family. Choose what is best for your community. Choose what is best for your nation, for your country. The only choice you have, my friends, is choose the Jamaica Labour Party. We have not yet officially started our campaign, but I gather that the other people say they're tired. When they hear them say, call it and you call it. Is that because they think they're win? They're just tired and they just want to get it over and done with. You can't go no further. So they know that, you know, we are the long distance puller. I can run the race. I don't have a problem with that. You know, physically, you know, we can do it in. So, yeah, I got that message from one of them. Prime Minister, who will put on in the man, they can't manage the move. Serious business. Serious business. But as I said earlier, we're going to make the calling of the election sure. So all of you here, when we talk about our platform, you know why you voted for the Jamaican Labour Party. You know the choice you have to make. All of you are agents. You can go back in your community, take what you have said on the platform and carry it back to your people. We don't know pussy. We don't know voter politics. And tell lie. You are leaving here tonight with a solid commitment for 1,395 houses in 3 years. That is not a promise. You are leaving here tonight with a commitment for the development of a cruise ship port in your harbor. Bypass that will be built around your town, which will open up new lands for housing that you will again get. You're leaving here with a commitment for a new urban center, and you're leaving here with a commitment for a redevelopment of Port Antonio. So you know that there are plans afoot here, not to harm you, but to prosper you and to give you hope. So my friends, my Portland family, thank you for coming on. Thank you for listening. Choose Jamaica.
Thank you, everyone.